He always kept a note in his wallet. On it was written, "A delay is better than a disaster." But on this day, shortly after he piloted the passenger plane into the air, the aircraft encountered a flock of birds.
Birds.
The engines were damaged by the bird strike, and the other engine did not escape either. At this moment, the captain did not know the exact condition of the engines. He only felt the thrust rapidly fading away. His next actions would determine the fate of the 155 passengers on board. He first attempted to restart the engines, but there was no response. He immediately activated the auxiliary power unit and asked the co-pilot to take out the emergency manual to search for a solution for dual engine failure. Then he radioed the control tower to explain the situation. The tower immediately ordered all other flights grounded and cleared the runways to assist Flight 1549 in returning. But Sully, with 42 years of flight experience, judged that at the plane's current altitude they could never make it back. Sully told the tower they would have to attempt a water landing on the Hudson River. The moment he said this, the radar at the tower lost Flight 1549 signal. The dispatcher called out again and again, telling them that the nearest airport was only 11 kilometers away, because he knew that the success rate of a water landing was less than 1%. But still, there was no sign of Flight 1549 on the radar. At this moment, a voice came from the cabin.
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
What? Brace! 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 Heads down! Stay down! Brace! 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 Heads down! Stay down!
Sully calmly handled the controls, adjusting the descent angle. With his precise operation, the aircraft successfully landed on the Hudson River. All 155 people on board were safe. Sully immediately went to the cabin and ordered all passengers to evacuate at once. The flight attendants opened the cabin doors, deployed the evacuation slides, and the emergency exits on both sides were opened. Nearby passengers climbed onto the wings to wait for rescue. Some, in panic, jumped directly into the river, forgetting that this was winter in New York, with temperatures well below freezing. Fortunately, a nearby Coast Guard patrol spotted them and immediately called for backup. Air rescue units also rushed to the scene. Passengers were safely evacuated outside. Rescue boats came in from all directions. Passengers were lifted aboard one after another. Rescue personnel even jumped into the icy water without hesitation to save those in the river. Meanwhile, Sully ignored the danger and went deep into the tail section to confirm that no one had been left behind. Only then did he return to the cockpit, take the incident record, and board the life raft as the last person to leave. With multi-agency support, the rescue mission was quickly completed, but once ashore, Sully remained heavy-hearted. He asked whether all 155 passengers had been accounted for, but the rescued passengers were scattered across different rescue teams, and it would take time to confirm. At his co-pilot's suggestion, Sully went to the hospital for examination. It was then that the union leader brought good news. All 155 passengers on board had survived. Hearing this, Sully finally felt relieved and showed a genuine smile. Meanwhile, the media was flooded with coverage. Sully became a hero in the eyes of the people. However, at the accident investigation meeting arranged by the National Transportation Safety Board, Sully became the subject of review. The investigators questioned the dual engine failure because such a situation had never occurred before. And according to the engineers' calculations, with the power available at the time, the plane could have safely returned to the airport without the need to risk a water landing. At the same time, they also questioned how Sully had confirmed that the plane could not return.
I had to rely on my experience of managing the altitude and speed of thousands of flights over 4 decades.
You're saying you didn't do any?
I eyeballed it.
You eyeballed it.
The investigators were not satisfied with Sully's answer, and even began to doubt his mental state at the time.
Captain, have you had any troubles at home lately?
Well, no more than anyone else. And nothing that affected my work.
Surviving such a disaster should have been something to celebrate, yet because of the investigators' interrogation, Sully felt heavy and depressed. Fortunately, the news in society was filled entirely with praise for him. Taxi drivers felt honored just to give him a ride, and even hotel managers greeted him with heartfelt embraces. Soon the second investigation hearing began. The investigators produced aircraft data showing that the left engine had still been producing thrust, and that it had continued running through the entire flight.
You show me the left engine. I'll show you dead birds and no power.
The left engine was lost in the crash due to excessive damage on touchdown. But we can circle back to that later.
Then they revealed results from computer simulations, under identical wind speed and temperature conditions, and even simulating dual engine failure in 20 separate tests. The aircraft had always returned safely to the airport. Sully was stunned. This was completely different from his memory. Inside the cockpit, he had clearly felt both engines fail. If he had attempted to return to the airport, the plane might well have crashed into downtown New York, causing a catastrophic disaster. Now, the truth could only be confirmed once the left engine was recovered from the river.